Okay, so if you still have trouble with your thoughts, right? Because even at this stage where I'm pretty good, like great at thought by thought observation, keeping them in check essentially, and remaining present and aware, not having thoughts. So if you're still struggling, because sometimes a thought will pop into my head and any which way I'm looking at it, I'm like ruminating on it, right? And that doesn't help. That doesn't actually solve it. Even though I know how to solve a lot of things. Very good at handling situations immediately. But instead of doing that, I pull back and see what would be the best outcome, and not only for me, right? So sometimes, shit happens. And there's a thought that I can't get out of my head, right? So, and this is good if you just have a lot of fucking thoughts throughout the day. I know, I understand. I was there. So, what you say to yourself, and I got this from RJ Spina, is, I don't know, I don't care, not my problem, which I don't know if he uses that, but that's one that I say to myself. I have it on a sticky note, right? IDK, IDC, not an issue. I allow God's plan to unfold my life. And sometimes I write IDK on like my hand because I want, that's usually like a day that I'm trying not to fight with myself. Which I haven't had it written on my hand in a while, but it's helpful. It's a reminder. Keep telling yourself every time a thought pops in, I don't know, I don't care. The situation will resolve itself. Like whatever the fuck is going on, it'll resolve itself. It usually does whenever you move out the way, whenever you're out of your own way. And usually you'll know what to do because we are here to enjoy life and take action in life, but taking action from a place of stress than a place of peace is very different, and you make very different decisions, and your life turns out differently. But it's nothing really to stress over because in a roundabout way, your life still works out. Your life still works out. So, if you haven't seen my last video, check it out because I give a lot of good information, examples, information to remain present. This is just in case you have a thought bombarding you, or like your thoughts are just constantly being an issue, right? Saying, I don't know, I don't care. I'm gonna read to you the meditation, which I said in my last video, I don't even like that word anymore because you meditate, you can meditate with your eyes open. You can do this throughout the day with your eyes open. But in his meditation, he wants you to close your eyes, so if you need to do that, if it feels better to you that way, then do it. Then do it. Anything that you learn, tailor it to where you can understand it or implement it easier than discarding it and not using it at all. So, move from disorder to order. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Repeat this 3 times. Say to yourself, I don't know and I don't care. This empties both your mental and emotional containers. You can effortlessly maintain total mental clarity and emotional freedom because this is the I am-ness. There is no effort or straining to maintain I am. Disorder turns to order only when you finally give yourself permanent permission to relax mentally and emotionally. This is how you move from disorder to order. Journal the difference between the qualities of disorder and order. That's it. That's all I'm going to read right now. But it's really helpful. It really helps you clear your mind and maintain presence. And I cannot stress enough why presence is important. It's like the key that unlocks everything. It's the foundation to life. It's the foundation to realizing how powerful, how superhuman you really are. It's natural. Like, psychic abilities are natural. And in my last video, I showed you a drawing of thoughts being sent out versus receiving thoughts. I did a whole video, and it's quite good, you know. I like it. I gave you a lot of great information, so go check that out. I did the timestamps and everything. I thought about not even posting some more today because of how good that video is. So, go check it out. And this video is more like helping you maintain that presence, that awareness, that I am state. Because even though I can expand the spaces between my thoughts, and I will turn on my thinking with purpose, sometimes a thought will come up that I can't get out of my head, you know? It happens. And then I'm just like, I don't know, I don't care, and then shoving that. Which, like I said, it hasn't really happened in a while. Because I'm good at catching it. I used this example in my last video, but I'm good at catching it, and the limiting belief, the shitty thought, the meh, that doesn't feel good thought, so I replace it and then provide evidence for it. This is the truth, the positive thought that I already have evidence for of the past. That's how I put the past onto what I want. Examples. And then make that a belief, right? Or a thought, right, that I believe in. But I know there are times when, that thought will pop up and I haven't focused on it enough to where I have a positive thought to replace it, right? And that reminds me of the focus wheel, right? That reminds me of the focus wheel that she has in her book, so I'm going to read that to you today, too. Which is very, very good at figuring out which thought feels better, which thought you can replace instead of your limiting belief. Okay, and until you figure out the thought to replace it, just say, I don't know, I don't care. Because it happens. Even to me, it happens. It's life, it's part of the human experience. And yes, you can just dismiss it and tell yourself solutions will find me, type of thing. And it does happen, right? But I'm talking about a thought that just keeps bugging you. Just keeps bugging you. So that's what you do the focus wheel on. A thought that just keeps bugging you. And you don't even know what thought would feel better because you haven't sat down and thought about it, and felt it out, okay? So, let me see. I thought about doing another video. Is it this one? Which thought feels better? Kind of. That's not the one that I was talking about, though. Yeah, the focus wheel. I just synced it. Hold on. Yeah. This focus wheel process will be the most valuable to you when your emotional set point, which is a scale that she uses in her book, Asked and It Is Given, from boredom to anger. I use it whenever there's just a thought that's bugging me and I don't have a good thought that I like to replace it, so I'll use this process. Some of your patterns of thought are extremely beneficial to you, others are not. So this focus wheel process is designed to assist you in changing your vibrational patterns on those specific subjects that are not beneficial to you. It is a process where you can literally practice your thoughts into a better feeling, and therefore into a better point of attraction. We recommend using this focus wheel process in any moment when you are keenly aware of something that you do not want, like a thought that's bugging you, An example of the focus wheel process. Here's how to begin the focus wheel process. Draw a large circle on a piece of paper, then draw a smaller circle about 2 inches in diameter in the center of the large circle. Sit back and look at the small circle and feel your eyes focus upon it. Now, close your eyes for a moment and turn your attention to whatever has happened that produce the negative emotion within you, or, negative thought. Then identify what it is you do not want. At this point, say to yourself, well, I clearly know that I know what I do not want. What is it that I do want? This is helpful to identify. This is helpful if you try to identify what you do not want as well as what you want in the terms of the way you feel about it. Because she says in this book that every subject is two subjects, right? So when you say I want money, but you feel lack, like you feel like you don't have money, it's opposite, right? For example, I feel fat and I want to be slender. I feel poor and I want to feel prosperous. I feel unloved and I want to feel loved. I feel deceived and I want to feel honored. I feel ill and I want to feel well. I feel powerless and I want to feel my power. Next, try to write statements around the circle, around the outside edge of your large circle that match what it is that you do want. When you find a statement that is close enough match, you will know it. In other words, you will feel whether your statement does not match and throws you off the wheel and into the bushes, so to speak, or whether the statement that is close enough to your desire that it sticks. The reason the focus wheel is so effective is because the statements you are writing are those that you have deliberately chosen. They are general statements that you already believe that match your desire. And that is the reason it works, because the law of attraction is so powerful that when you hold a thought for as little as 17 seconds, another thought like it will join it, and those two thoughts come together. There's a combustion that occurs that makes your thoughts even more powerful. Whenever you make a general statement, you are more likely to be pure in your thought than when you make a specific statement. So the power of your focus wheel is that you are making general statements that you already believe, and you hold each of them for 17 seconds or so, as it gives you an opportunity to offer a pure vibration that is more and more specific to your desire. So let's say that you are preparing to do this process, and you know your intention is to write, I want to feel good about my body or my knee as well. But if you begin there, if the first little phrase you write is, I feel good about my body, you can tell by the way you feel that your energy is not aligned, because all it did was make you feel ornery and aggravate your awareness that you do not feel. Hold on. All it did was make you feel ornery and aggravate your awareness that you do feel fat or that your knee does hurt. So the statement was too specific. In other words, it's sort of like trying to jump on a train that is going too fast, and all you do is just bounce back off of it. You can imagine trying to get on a merry-go-round that is going too fast. You cannot quite get onto it, but if it slows down, you can, and then you'll be able to speed it up and she pretty much says that's why you're doing the focus wheel, okay? And it's kind of what I mentioned in my last video. Identifying the limited belief, and then because my thoughts are already slowed down, right? So I can easily get it, and easily put the positive thought on top of it and provide evidence and stuff, and that gives it like momentum and will like instantly manifest it for me. That was in the last video. Now, just by trial and error, you can choose another statement. You might say something like, I know that my physical body responds to my thought. Well, that is a softer statement. You already believe that, but it makes you a little mad at yourself. So that's not a good starting point either. You feel around for something else, and you say something like, for the most part, my body's doing all right. Well, now you believe that is statement feels all right, and you're able to see, you're able to stay on the merry-go-round. As you write that around your circle and focus upon it, it feels pretty good. And then you make another statement. You might say something like, I believe that the universe matches our vibration. You absolutely believe that, so that statement sticks. And then you write another statement. And then you begin to feel some relief. You're not mad at yourself, and your vibration is lifting. So as you continue to add power to this process of the focus wheel, as you find thoughts that feel good, continue writing them around the perimeter of your large circle. Start at what 12 o'clock would be if you were looking at a clock, and then continue to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and so on until you have 12 statements that feel good, right? And on like another sheet of paper, I write out like the statements, and I write out like statements until I can like find one that feels good that I add to the focus wheel, like the clock. And then I transfer like the clock onto a notebook, or no, not a notebook, a note card, right? Because I have them easily available. I'm seeing if there's anything else that I need to read and that I want to read. So yes, it's playing around with thoughts and see which one feels better, right? So sometimes I'll use the I don't know, I don't care until I can do like the focus wheel. Because then when it pops up into my mind, I already have like prepared. I prepared, you know? And then it's easily like reflected back to me, that change that I made. And I also love the affirmation. Oh, I did get an energy shift from this. It's going to be wonderful to see what the result of that is, right? Because that's you like building like the energy up as well. So that's a few helpful tips so you can be prepared. Be prepared in your mind first, in your awareness first, and it will reflect back to you through your life. Okay, I don't know why I stumble upon my words whenever I talk in these videos. I don't know, but I don't care either. See, I don't know and I don't care. like I'm not just gonna sit here and wonder about that shit. I just use your time wisely, okay? Use your thoughts wisely. Go check out my other video, the one that I did today, because it is amazing and I know it's going to provide a lot of value, just like this video has, you know? So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being present. Thank you for wanting to learn and learning and implementing, because I know this is going to help you tremendously if you actually implement this. So, thank you.